$1 million. That's what Benedict Cross announced, standing right there on the edge of that dusty livestock arena, his voice cutting through the fall air sharper than the knife he probably carried in his fancy suit pocket. That's what I'll pay anyone in this godforsaken county who can get that mutt to sit beside them for 5 minutes, he said, grinning in a way that let you know the money wasn't even the point. Everyone shifted, eyes darting from Cross's suit crisp, his hair perfecto the German shepherd locked inside a rusty kennel, hackles raised, teeth bare. Ghost, they called him, though nobody claimed to know where he came from, just that he wasn't right, that he'd bite a man's hand clean off before letting himself be touched. Nobody wanted to go first, not even the handlers, those big ranch hands who'd tamed bulls and broken colts for years. But there was something about Ghost, the way he pressed against the wire, eyes black as river stones, and just as cold as daring anyone, to try their luck. Cross leaned in, microphone catching his words. Let's see if loyalty's worth a damn when you take away the leash and the stake. The crowd mumbled, nervous. You could feel the tension, how nobody wanted to be the one to get embarrassed, let alone bitten. Off to the side, just beyond the arc of the arena lights, a girl stood clutching a beat-up harmonica 12 years old, sneakers too big, hands shoved deep in her pockets like she might fold in on herself if she got any smaller. Willow Hayes didn't belong there, not really. Her grandma Miriam had dragged her along because she couldn't be left home, but even Miriam, grumbling about the noise and the men showing off, hadn't expected Willow to move when she did. Let me back up a sec. You ever see a kid do something so wild, so flat-out fearless, that the whole world just stops for a beat? That was Willow, stepping out of the crowd, sneakers leaving no mark in the dust. She didn't answer the laughter $11 million to sit by that hellhound. You could retire by high school. Some rancher snorted but just kept walking. Cross actually looked startled, eyebrows raised. A kid, huh? Thought I'd get a real man first. Willow didn't flinch. She just pulled the harmonica from her pocket, its edges smooth from years in someone else's hands or mother's. Initials faint but still there, a relic of everything she'd lost. Willow lifted it to her lips, the crowd falling so quiet you could hear the wind rattle the flag on the gate. The first note came out thin, shaky. Not a song, just a sound of memory, almost. Ghost went dead still, and for a second I swear you could feel every person in that place holding their breath. The dog took a step, then another, muscles tense like a drawn bow, but his growl faded out, replaced by something else, curiosity, maybe, or recognition. Willow kept playing, eyes closed now, lost in the sound. 5 minutes ticked by. Nobody moved, not even Cross, whose face had gone pale, the smile wiped clean off. When the last note faded, Ghost was sitting at Willow's side, like he'd always been meant to be there. Not obedience, not even submission, just trust, so raw and unexpected that it left the whole arena silent. Willow stood, brushed the dust off her jeans, and reached for Ghost's collar. He followed her out of the ring, not dragged, not forced, chose her, plain and simple. And yeah, maybe that's when the spell was broken, when the crowd remembered how to breathe again. Nobody applauded. Cross turned and stalked away, the prize money forgotten. Miriam was waiting at the gate, eyes wet and shining. We're taking him home, Willow said, and it didn't sound like a question. The three of them, girl, grandmother, and a dog no one could touch, walked out under the fading sun, down the gravel road toward a ranch at the edge of Sage Valley. The next morning, Willow watched Ghost patrol the fence line, moving like smoke silent, careful, every step measured. He wouldn't come inside, wouldn't eat from a bowl, flinched at every loud noise. Slam a door, and he'd hit the ground, heart racing, waiting for pain that never came. But Willow, she never tried to force him. She sat beside him in the grass, sometimes reading her mother's old notes out loud, letting the words hang in the morning air. Her mom had been a trainer, the kind who said force only breeds silence, not understanding. Willow understood that better than anyone. The first week, Dr. Clara Monroe showed up, oldest vet in the county, hands rough as tree bark, eyes sharp as needles. She didn't approach Ghost right away. Just sipped tea on the porch, talking with Miriam about hay prices, about winter coming, about how animals remember what you'd rather they forgot. Next visit, Clara left a trail of treats by the gate, humming to herself as she walked away. By her fourth visit, Ghost let her lay a hand against his ribs, just for a second, long enough for her to feel the scars under his fur. "This isn't just trauma," she told Willow later, voice low. "This is conditioning. Someone taught him to fear. That's not an accident." Willow nodded. She'd already figured as much. "If you're still with me, here's where things twist, because life never just goes in a straight line, right?" Cross hadn't forgotten. Word got out about the girl and the dog, whispers rippling through Sage Valley. By the time the autumn fair rolled around, Cross made sure he'd be there, show everyone what real training looked like. He brought his own Doga brute, named Bramble, bigger than Ghost, wilder. The kind of animal that makes even tough men nervous. The arena was packed, everyone waiting to see if Willow could do again. She didn't bring a leash, didn't even bring the harmonica at first, just walked out, Ghost by her side, free as you please. She didn't give him commands. She just moved, and Ghost moved with her, mirroring her steps, pausing when she paused, sitting when she crouched. The crowd grew quiet, and then she played just a little, soft and haunting. Ghost lay down, head on his paws, as if nothing in the world could touch him. Then Cross strode out, announcing his demonstration. His men circled Bramble with batons, clickers, shot collars. Bramble fought, terrified, biting at the air. The crowd started to mutter, kids pulled back by their parents. And then, yeah, you guessed it, Ghost got up and crossed the ring, slow and steady. He didn't challenge, didn't threaten. He just sat down near Bramble, silent and calm. Bramble froze, confused. Then, as Willow played her harmonica again, Bramble lay down, the fight leaving him. The place erupted, reporters snapping pictures, people cheering, some even crying. Cross looked ready to explode, shouting at his handlers, but nobody was listening anymore. All eyes were on Willow, on Ghost, on the broken dog who just found peace beside the one everyone had given up on. That clip went viral. Suddenly, Willow was a sensation, headlines calling her the girl who listened. But she never cared about fame. Back home, dogs started arriving, rescues, problem cases, all the ones no one else could handle. Ghost met each one at the gate, calm and gentle, never rushing, never pushing. In time, even Bramble began to trust, following Willow around the ranch, tail wagging for the first time. Cross tried to fight back released, edited footage, making the dogs look dangerous. But truth has a way of sticking. The community rallied around Willow. Donations poured in. The sanctuary grew, not with grand buildings or shiny signs, but with care-soft kennels, open fields, a library filled with her mother's notes. One spring, Cross's son Caleb showed up at the sanctuary, envelope in hand, eyes lowered. It was a letter from Benedict, written after a stroke left him frail. In shaky handwriting, he apologized, admitting he'd been wrong, that Emma Hayes had seen something he never could. Inside the envelope was the deed to the land next door, perfect for letting the sanctuary grow. Now, you walk that ridge in Sage Valley, and you'll see dogs running free, scars healing, tails high, new stories being written every day. Willow isn't a child anymore, but she never forgot how to listen. Ghost remains by her side, a legend in his own quiet way, teaching every new arrival what safety feels like. And that's where I'll leave you at the edge of evening. Harmonica notes floating across the field, the girl who waited long enough to hear what no one else could. So tell Mato you think she was right? That trust, not power, changes everything? Or does the world still belong to men like Cross, just waiting for another chance to take it back? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me, what would you have done? And what does justice look like? Out here where nobody's watching.